Eye strain is a common eye disorder that affects each person differently. It can be caused by something as simple as driving or working on a computer. Optometrist Tom Dunham is here to tell us how eye strain develops and ways to help control the symptoms. Thank you for joining us today.
Glad to be here.
I know, I'm really excited. You brought props and everything. So describe what eye strain is exactly.
Well, eye strain can be different for different people, but typically what it is it's like a pulling sensation of the eyes, and sometimes it may actually feel like dryness, but basically just pulling and right there between the eyes, and it can be painful.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like, it just feels really dry, as you were saying.
Well, it can, and see, some eye strains are actually can result from dryness. That's why I plug that into there. If the eye is dry, sometimes I actually feel like the eyes are pulling. And even if they're not dry, of course, if you're doing a lot of close work and your eyes just aren't up to the task, you'll feel strain and pain.
How do you develop eye strain?
Some people don't, and some people do. Some people are just prone to it. And basically, it's like this. For reading or a lot of computer work, things like that, the eyes have to converge and focus. And sometimes the converging mechanism of the eyes, that's these medial recti muscles they're called, they're supposed to pull the eyes in. Sometimes they're a little weak in so doing, and sometimes it's the accommodation of in the eye, the focusing, the lens of the eye just leaves it out of focus. Of course, folks that are 45 and 50, they can identify with that, but it can happen to anybody. Okay.
So you were saying that was blurry. Is that some of the symptoms? Could you describe some other symptoms?
Yeah, the strain, the pain, blur, pretty much that's it. And blur's the biggie.
How do you alleviate all of the eye strain?
Well, for people that have eye strain reading their computer, sometimes eye exercises will take care of it.
Could you jump? Yeah, perfect. I was just about to ask you.
Yeah, right. This is my little push-up paddle, and of all the eye exercises that are sometimes prescribed, this is probably the most effective. And sometimes I'll give this to patients, young and old, mainly young, because old people don't like to do this. And I just give them push-ups to do, and they focus on the little the eye chart here, or if they're a little child, on the figure on the opposite side, and they just do eye push-ups, focusing close up. And if they can get their medial muscles to focus good and their accommodation to work well, it translates into easier reading and computers as well.
Ease it up a little bit. That's mostly common in the younger people.
Yeah.
So you've been doing this for almost 30 years. You've been an eye doctor for almost 30 years. What kind of change have you seen in patients with the computer use and the development of the computer?
When I graduated and started practice, computers are almost, this is a long time ago. And now people are on computers all the time. I have patients that are on computers, 8 hours a day, and it can be a real strain for the eyes to do that and not feel at the end of the day. So if you're on computer all day long, particularly, and you have just a little bit of, say, uncorrected refractive error, meaning, okay, you're a little bit farsighted, a little bit of astigmatism, something like that. Yeah, if you're on a computer for 5 or 10 minutes, it's no big deal. At the end of the day, it can be a real big deal. So it's important to make sure you got a good pair of glasses, the prescription's up to speed, and that can help.
That affects. Is there any computer screen, like can you change the computer screen settings to help make it better?
The old computer screens, you could put on filters. Nowadays with flat screens, those are really good quality screens. But nonetheless, besides the screens, people that are on computers a lot, if they have a pair of glasses, it's important that they have anti-glare, anti-reflection coating on their lenses.
And that affects a lot. Quickly, how important are tears to all of this?
Very important. People that are in the workplace on computers all day long, it's dry, humidity's low, and another thing that happens, when you're on computer, your blink rate goes down. Anytime you're staring at something, you're concentrating on something, blink rate goes down, and so if you're not blinking, the tears that you spread across your eye, they can dry up faster. And so sometimes people need to use artificial tears.
So are those some prevention tips you would suggest to this kind of disorder?
Artificial tears are a good idea. anti-glare on your glasses. Make sure your the prescription is all up to speed, up to date, so any little refractive error is all corrected, yes.
All corrected. Well, thank you so much. This is very informative.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
Thank you.